Mona, good afternoon. Welcome to the Media View on ENCA. I guess to say to you, have you been affected by the unrest is not really a question today, because we do know that some of your infrastructure and facilities were affected. For me, the question is, are you ready? Because there's going to be an influx. We expect there'll be more people because the government has expanded those who can get the 350 Rand grant to include caregivers who were not covered previously. Are you going to manage, Ms. Mona? Will the post office manage?
Good afternoon, Mr. Moyane. Thank you very much for having us. Indeed, the post office itself has been highly and very negatively impacted by the unrest, in that a lot of our branches were damaged. But the question you're asking is around whether the post office will cope with the expected influx of people coming into our branches to get the grant payments. Of course, what we've done is we have looked at the lessons that we've learned from how we've run this program in the past, and we've put together a number of additional initiatives that would make sure that we are able to cope with the influx.
Okay, would that include some mobile capacity?
Indeed, it does, because if you look at the branches that we couldn't bring on board very soon after the unrest, we still have to pay people in those areas. So we are bringing in a lot more of the mobile payments in terms of the CIT, which is cash in transit, service providers who are going to be paying very close to where the branch was in the beginning. In some of the branches that we have managed to get back on track, even though we are working manually, we will be paying at the branches. We also are looking to talking to traditional leaders, social leaders in the areas where we can use the community halls, big places where we can then get these CITs to go and pay from there. So our idea is to make sure that the beneficiary at the end does not suffer more than already they are suffering.
Is this being communicated to the various areas that the post office, don't worry, it might have been damaged last month, but we're going to come in an area next to you in a mobile facility?
We have started communicating in a number of other platforms, but what we've also said is that we need to start communicating to people in their vernacular, and also making sure that we go into community radio stations and as close to the people as possible, so that they know that if your branch X was damaged, you can go to branch Y and it's 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers away from you, or we are bringing a certain solution for you, so you would need to go to this area. Thirdly, we are also talking to them via SMS, because we will have the telephone numbers, because remember, this is a new round that we are discussing. So we will then be sending them the SMSs to tell them exactly where they can go and access their grant funding.
Okay, capacity for payment. Now, the mobile facility, I guess it will arrive having most probably the right amount of money, because it's going to be stocked up somewhere. The money will be loaded somewhere and then it will go. But the physical infrastructure that still exists. I was interviewing Black Sash yesterday and today in response to what the minister announced yesterday. One of the issues they've raised concerns that in the past, some of the beneficiaries will arrive at the post office and they'll be told there's no money.
Yes, so there are two layers to this problem. Problem number one is that what we've introduced as the post office is a system where the last 3 digits of the beneficiary's ID number will tell him whether he should come and collect money on Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever day of the week. Now, what we find is that the beneficiaries don't adhere to such, because our system is able to say if we can pay X number of beneficiaries per day, so we will stop at this level, and therefore we need to get cash equivalent to that. That's the first area. The second area then is that people then come at any given day, and it becomes a problem because then you are bound to run out of cash. But we are trying to do as much as possible, because remember, the other problem we are faced as the post office is the issue of crime. It has increased, especially during COVID, in that they know that on certain days of the month there is money in the branch, and therefore, so even as we bring money in the branch, we need to make sure that we ration it such that it can take that. So I think that part of the problem would be that we need to educate the beneficiaries a bit more. We need to communicate a bit more to them as to why it is that we would like them to get there. Because for us as a post office, we are a service institution. We are here to serve the country, and we really also do not enjoy that people come all the way from wherever they come from and only to be told that, sorry, we've run out of money, etc. We've also come up with another solution where we would like to go more the cashless route, if you like, where we have a digital card that will be sent to your phone via SMS. Then you can be able to go and get your money either via a merchant. You can go shopping, you can go to an ATM, you can come through to the post office. Our doors will still be open. We are putting more capacity. We are also going to be opening up more hours. We're going to be working longer hours during the periods of payments, so that people can start early and finish late. In fact, we've already started. I was listening to another old mama in Nomkhita on a video the other day saying, it is 8 o'clock, I'm already going home. I got paid. And she was shot at a post office in Nomkhita. I meant the video was shot in Nomkhita. Thank you.
Yes, I just thought, whoops, what do you mean that she was shot? Okay, the video was taken. The video was taken of her expressing the thanks. Okay, as you are talking there, Ms. Mona, about all these measures that you're going to put in place, I'm thinking, you mentioned crime, and I'm thinking security, and as you are talking about longer working hours, and we've just experienced that nightmare in July, and you are facing increased crime, and during the pandemic as well, are you going to improve or enhance your security measures, first to protect the beneficiaries, and secondly to protect your staff in those areas where you might be working longer, and thirdly to protect the money itself?
Yes, this is a key question that we are dealing with within the SA Post Office. So firstly, we really need to protect our own staff members who are in jeopardy as they go to work every day because of this increased level of crime. So yes, indeed, we are deploying a lot more guards and a lot more security in there. It is a costly exercise, but we believe that it is better to guard the lives not only of our own employees, but also of the beneficiaries themselves, making sure that they get the money in a humane and also in a safe space. And so, yes, we are deploying a bit more. But
it's going to cost
in the long term.
In the long term. Yes, ma'am. In the long term?
Yes. But I was saying in the long term, we are looking to a solution that will be cashless, that will not need you to specifically go to a post office purely because of exactly the question you were going to ask. It is a costly exercise just to carry the cash there and also to secure the cash. The post office is paying a lot for that. Now we are looking for solutions to ensure that we can cut on those costs as well.
Yeah, and handling cash is not a cheap exercise. We know from the banks, they charge us each time you draw something from an ATM, you pay a fee because that's how they make the money, the banks. Okay, but after the violence of last month, your footprint was already reduced. I think a few months ago, or if not last year, you closed a number of branches. The post office had to shut down a number of branches. I know some trade unions were not happy that you've lost some of the footprint. With the damage that you've suffered, the vandalization that you've suffered now in July as well, has your footprint further been reduced? Are you concerned about that reduction?
It has temporarily been reduced. So if you look at KwaZulu-Natal, we had 51 branches that were affected. Since then, we've already reopened 13 of those branches where there was moderate damage and that we could deal with immediately. Now, the remainder is that it's going to take a bit longer to get reopened, but we are working on that. We are also looking into whether we could bring containerized post offices, but also renting premises offices very close to where we were in the meantime while we are bringing back our branches. So that's firstly the key for us. Secondly, I think it's important for us to note that throughout South Africa, there are 2,058 points of presence when talking about the post office. So of those are actual post offices as we know them, and the remaining number is all agencies and where we're renting a place in a far-flung area, but the post office is there. Because remember, one of the big advantages of the post office is that it has a very wide footprint throughout the country. You go into a small little dorpy, you will find a post office there, because the idea is to serve the people whether we make money or not.
Okay, thank you very much, and good luck with your plans. We'll track the situation, because from tomorrow people will register, and there'll be more people registering for the new grant, and we'll see how it goes well. We wish you well. That's Ms. Nomkhita Mona. She's the CEO, Chief Executive of the South African Post Office.